Hi guys. I feel like we really haven't done one of these in so long, just with me getting my tooth out, and then I don't even remember what happened last week. I don't think my husband was home in time, so I wasn't able to do one then. So we're going to get right back into it, and I'm going to try to not skip again so that we can just continue on every Wednesday. I like doing these, they're fun, and I like having you guys here to see in real time and not just on a pre-edited video. So let's just give it a few minutes for people to show up. And I know I usually show my face, but I'm really lazy today and I just did not feel like fidgeting with the camera to get it set up. But today we're going to be kind of going back to the basics of color wheel and different schemes you can do and how to choose some colors and kind of get back to basics. And it'll help with deciding how you want to go about a picture and if colors harmonize well and what colors work good together. Because when you're coloring, I know when I do it sometimes, I'll just kind of randomly choose colors and then I'll hate it. Like, I'll hate how some colors look next to each other, or I'll not be paying attention and like a similar color goes next to, like, say I'm using like a purple color and then like another shade of purple like I grab and it's like almost the same and they're right next to each other. I don't know, that bothers me so bad because it just like all melts together and you can't see like a contrast. So doing things like this, like choosing your color schemes this way and making sure you choose your colors beforehand, really helps with not making any mistakes or doing anything like that or muddying up your colors, and just making sure everything kind of gets pulled together and the picture looks good. So in grade school, you were probably taught, I know I was taught, that primary colors are usually red, blue, and yellow. But that's not the case with most things. I'm not going to really get into like additive and subtractive systems with colors. That's what that is. That's what CYMK is. It has to do with like printing, and you figure when you get printer ink, those are the primary colors for printers. It's cyan, magenta, and yellow. And they just make for interesting colors with art, and mixing's less boring, and they just makes more interesting colors, not just plain Jane red, blue, yellow, and then it makes plain orange, green, and purple. So I'm not really going to get into the whole like different systems like that just because it's not really, I mean, it has to do with which one reflects light, and then the red, yellow, blue, it makes white, and these colors together make black, and I'm not going to get into all that. But I like the use of these primary colors when it comes to mixing, especially with painting. I know with paints that these are the main colors I start with and mix from there. Pencils, it might be a little bit harder, but I just wanted to kind of jump into that so I could kind of warp your world a little bit because I know I've always known that red, blue, and yellow are the primary colors. Well, the true primary colors are actually those three. Down to harmony and contrast. The difference is that harmony is likeness. So colors that are all right next to each other, or, they're red, orange, red, and red, violet. They all have red in it, so that's harmony. Contrasting colors are direct opposites, like red and green. And they're directly opposite on the color wheel. So you can see here, I will go to red, green, direct opposite contrasting colors. And their colors, though, even though they're opposite, they work well together. And then you have, your primary colors, your warm colors, your cool colors. So your warm colors are all on the side of the color wheel. Your warm colors are your reds, your oranges, and your yellows. Your cool colors are your greens, your blues, and your purples. So that's another way you can get schemes from. You can choose to do a whole picture in all cool colors. You can choose a picture to do in all warm colors. You can even choose a couple warm and a couple cold to kind of, again, have that differing contrast in your picture. You can also, do a color scheme with your secondary colors, and that's green, orange, and violet. And those colors, again, they're so different, but they work well together. I'm going to come back to this part, but basically on a color wheel, we'll take a look at this real quick. I know a lot of people have bought this after I posted about it. So I don't know if anyone here is watching who has this exact one, but if you have a color wheel, I suggest taking it out if you want to, and we'll kind of go along with my little list I have here. This is a really good tool to help you come up with color schemes, making sure that everything matches up and that the colors flow well together. So one scheme you can do when you want to choose some colors is complementary colors. So complementary colors are directly across. So like I said before, red and green. But say I wanted, say I wanted a blue in my picture. I would turn the wheel to blue. And your direct opposite color would be orange. Those colors work well together, as well as any of these colors. So anything that, is harmonizing with blue and orange will all go together as well. So blue can also harmonize with yellow and red, while orange can also harmonize with blue, green, and blue, violet. So therefore, all 6 of those colors could work together. The other way you can do it is split complementary. So that's 3 colors. One color, so one main color, we'll just stick with violet. Let's do violet. So one main color, which is your violet, and then the colors on each side of its complement. So its complement is yellow, and then on each side. So green yellow and orange yellow would be the split complements of violet. Triad is an equidistant triangle. So this shows this on the color wheel, as well as split complementary and complementary. Those are the only 3 that are shown here, but there are a couple others that I'll get to. So triad, any colors that make up an equidistant triangle. So this is showing violet, green, and orange as a triad scheme. And then let's say we go to blue. A triad is the primary colors. So that's another way to kind of remember what triad is, just remembering your primaries. Another scheme you can do is monochromatic. So monochromatic, which actually, that's going to be one of our group challenges, I think, for a month ahead of us. And monochromatic is one color and all the shades, all the tones, and all the tints. On this side, it shows you your tints. Tints are colors with white added to it. So all of these colors are red mixed with white, and then there's just, as you go down the red level, the last one has the most white mixed in. So that's like your really pastel pink. And then on the back, you have all your shades and tones. So shades are colors with black added, and tones are colors with gray added. So these are all the levels of tones, these 3 right here, so that's all gray. And then as you get deeper into the shade, or into the color, you get to your shades, which have black mixed in. So monochromatic is all one color, tints, tones, and shades. that would be your monochromatic. So those are really cool schemes to do, you know, if you have like mandala, maybe. It's not necessarily great if you have, you know, your 2-page spread for Johanna Basford. One color would look really just kind of plain and boring. If you just did like a picture like that, all green, there's no interest. But if it was like a design, like a mandala or something that you could pull off with just doing one color and then all the different shades, tints, and tones of the color, then that would work. But I don't recommend doing that for like a really big picture with lots of details, and you know there's different aspects to it. Mandalas though, I feel like that would be like really the only thing that I would recommend doing monochromatic with. Then the other thing you can do is analogous schemes, which are 3 to 5 adjacent colors. So the reason why they say 3 to 5 is because after 5, it just becomes a little bit busy and the colors don't harmonize anymore. So it really depends on, again, the size of your picture. So say you had a landscape from Johanna. I usually pick 3 to 4, sometimes 5 colors. I ever go over 5 because then the picture just gets a little busy. So your analogous could be violet blue, blue violet, violet, and red violet, and all those colors harmonize even though they're differing, but they're all right next to each other, so it's a scheme and it works. Then the ones that aren't on this wheel, because if you notice on the back, the color schemes are all here, but 2 are left out. So one scheme that got left out is tetradic, which I have right here. Tetradic scheme is a rectangle. And so it's basically, if you can make a rectangle out of any colors, those colors will work. So here I have an example of orange, orange, yellow, blue, violet, and blue. And all those colors would work together. And then I have another one that's orange, red, orange, blue, and blue, green. And all of those make a rectangle, so those colors would all work together. And so that's a really fun way to, you know, get a color scheme. The last one that I discovered is the square scheme. You just all equidistant 4 sides. So equidistant, I found a couple, and you could do blue, green, red, and orange. That's equidistant. Another one is yellow, orange, green, yellow, violet, blue, and red, violet. And again, all those make a square. So as long as it's equidistant from each other and it matches up, then all of those would be a nice harmonizing scheme. So that's really all there is to the color wheel. The color wheel is really easy to use. Just turning it and pointing to a color. You want to use green, you point to green, it gives you all the colors that can go with green. And so it's like a really simple way to come up with a harmonizing scheme with choosing colors and not have it be so hectic, trying to sort through and seeing which colors might look good, and then you go and put it on paper and then it doesn't look good. So this is a really good tool to use, and I really like this one just because it has, you know, 2-sided. It has your shades and tones on the one side and your tints on the other, and I really like this. I like how this one's set up, and I like that it's big too. I didn't like a lot of the pocket ones. So if you like my color wheel, I got it on Amazon. It's called Creative Color Wheel, a guide for choosing color schemes, and it's a US product, and so shipping can be a little bit expensive if you're not in the US, but it does ship global on Amazon. It just Amazon global priority, and you can get it shipped to other countries. I know it can ship to UK. Jeanette got it, and she didn't have a problem. It came to her. I don't think it took that long for her to get it. I'm sure it depends on just where you live, but they do deliver. So if you do want this and you want to spend a little bit of money on the shipping, because I mean, this is a very cheap one, but it won't become cheap with shipping. Like this only cost me, I think, like $8. So I'm not really sure what it would cost you to get this shipped somewhere. So other different ways you can choose your color schemes without the use of a color wheel. Sometimes I'll, you know, look at things that are in my room, in my closet. I'll look at clothes. seeing shirts that had like a plaid print and what colors are on it, and that's how I'll get schemes from that. I'll look at, you know, like a rug or, you know, wallpaper online and pull colors from those. Curtains, like anything type of furniture, like I call it grandma furniture. Like I know I colored a picture, it was a mandala that I had to do for a review, and I did the colors that I remembered were my grandmother's couch. So you can do like fun things like that, and if it's in fabric, it's anything from fabric or rugs or anything that has to do with like household furniture goods. Manufacturers and the designers of all like household goods and stuff, they have to make sure that, you know, the colors harmonize and that they work well. So anything that you pull from something like that will definitely work in a picture, just because all those colors look good together. If colors didn't look good together in a shirt, would you buy it? No. So that's a pretty foolproof way to look at it. I mean, I look at some of my clothes and I'm like, oh, that's a cool flower. I'll do that in my book. Another thing you can do is you can pick your favorite color, and then that is the base to your scheme. So what I did was, my favorite color is aqua. So aqua goes with a lot of colors. I could do, you know, an analogous scheme, and so aqua kind of looks like this color here. It's as close to aqua as I could find on the color wheel. So a light aqua would be like either in between these two. I could do an analogous scheme and have greens, blues, and purples. I can do a split complementary scheme and, you know, have oranges and reds. You know, so many possibilities I could, you know, get with just using your favorite color as a base. So it's all a matter of what scheme you would want to use. You could use monochromatic and just do all the same. You can do, you know, a triad, and so that would be orange and red violet. So there's just so many possibilities. Then you have your color palette websites. These are really cool. So there's designseeds.com. I know a lot of people know about Design Seeds. And basically what Design Seeds is they have pre-made palettes based off of a picture or an image. So like, say like you go on there, there will be like a picture of wildflowers, and then next to it will have all of the colors pulled from that picture. So it gives you a palette for you. The other one that I like, that I actually recently found within like the last couple weeks, by accident actually, looking for color palettes, was Paleton.com. I have it written here. It's Paleton.com. I'll put it in the video description after the video is archived, just so that people can come back and see the link. I'll put both the links in there. But that one's really cool. So it gives you like a whole screen of like all like the colors. And you can like poke around on it and it'll change the movement of all the colors, and you can pick monochromatic or triad. It's like it has all the schemes for you, and then it chooses all the colors automatically and puts it in like a little separate square box, and it has all the colors there that you can use for a palette, and it's really cool. It takes a little bit of, you know, toying around and getting used to it. It looks complicated, but it's actually not. But that one's really fun to use. I haven't used it that often, but I feel like I'll probably go on there maybe and attempt to pull a palette off of there. That way I can color a picture using it, just because it's really cool to use. And, you know, I'm pretty sure there's like apps and stuff you could probably find for color palettes if you aren't into the whole color wheel thing. I just really like it. It's old school. Brings me back to, you know, childhood days, going through the color wheel, trying to, you know, I remember in like first grade, you'd have to or like kindergarten, you'd have to go through the color wheel and like pick out different schemes. And it was fun. It brings me back to art class in elementary school, and that was always a fun time. That's really all there is to a color wheel. The reason why I did this is because a few people suggested that they wanted to learn how I chose colors and how to in general. And basically, sometimes, I'll just not feel like really planning a palette. I'll just go and grab colors. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I end up hating my picture. And then I always tell myself, this is why you plan, Courtney. This is why you don't just randomly grab colors. But no, it's really all about what's more comfortable for you, having fun with it. Really, there's no wrong way to choose colors. It's just if it's really for people who want to start getting a little bit more technical, and a lot of people showed interest in how to choose colors and how. The other question, which was weird, was how many colors should I choose for a picture? And at first I didn't really know how to answer her question. And I kind of thought about it for a little bit after the fact. And I was kind of just sitting at my desk and I was like, well, you just can't. I really don't know. I mean, I can go from 5 pencils on my desk and then all of a sudden I have 30 pencils on my desk. But really what I try to do is I try to stick to at least 3 to 5 main colors. And then from there, I add gradients of the same color. So different tints of it, different, shades and tones. And I kind of stick to those same colors, just different levels of the color. So it doesn't get too busy. I'm not really a big, bright, all these 30 different colors, using the whole rainbow. I don't really like that. But my own personal rule is I use 3 to 5 main colors, depending on how big the picture is. If it's a landscape picture and I want to get kind of funky with leaves and stuff, then maybe I'll choose 5. That's as most as I'll go. And then if it's a more confined image, like one of Johanna's mandala type pictures, or a squirrel, one of her squirrels, or a fox or whatever, I'll usually tend to stick to 3, maybe 4, and then just make a gradient with different levels of the color. So really there's no wrong way to choose how many colors you use. It's just a matter of what your style is, what you like. If you love bright, all the colors of the rainbow, go for it. There's really no wrong way to do this. But I'm, again, just telling you what I do, and that's what people ask me, what I do. So I'm just giving you my tips and my own personal rules that I have for myself. And that's basically it. It's a really simple concept, using a color wheel, and just as long as you know the different schemes, you can always Google it. I'm just putting it for you in a video just from memory. I'm pretty sure someone online can probably, write this a lot more detailed, but I just kind of gave you guys some notes on what I knew from my own memory. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know, and I'll answer any comments that are up on the chat. But other than that, that's really it that has to do with this lesson. And it was a really simple lesson, I think, really easy. Next week is going to be a little bit fun. We're going to do how to create shiny things. So how to make pebbles and rocks look shiny, how petals can look shiny on flowers, how to give things that, shined look, as well as making gems and water droplets, so that'll be fun, and bubbles. So that's going to be a really fun lesson. It's going to be a little bit long probably, just because of all the things that that I'll have to draw on camera, and shading and coloring, but it'll be fun. It'll probably be probably an hour. So Elf in Designs, I'm not really sure your real name, sweetheart, but she asked me if I can attach this to the video, and I'm pretty sure this is what she's talking about, my little notes page. What I can do is I can scan it into my computer, and then I'll add it at the end of the video. That way people can, look at it fully and pause the video and write stuff down if they want to. I don't think I can actually make it so that you can print it out, but I'll do that for you. I'll make it so that it'll be in the video, both sides, and you can either screenshot it or write it down. Oh, Robin says that she found this color wheel at Hobby Lobby. So that's good to know. So if you're in the States and you're near a Hobby Lobby, you can grab this and you won't have to worry about waiting for it to come to your house from Amazon. I only saw it on Amazon. I don't really go to Hobby Lobby that often anymore. Just because we're a little bit farther, away from it. Let's see if anyone has any other questions. Speak now. Otherwise, I think we are finito. And we will pick up again next Wednesday. Same time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, we'll be doing pebbles and how to make pebbles and rocks and petals of flowers shiny, and how to make a gem, which was really big at a point. I'm not really sure how popular it is now. It was like a really hot topic for like a good 2 weeks, like a month or two ago. So we'll do that so you can know how to create gems from your objects and your pictures. I know like the frog in Enchanted Forest, that was like the big thing in our Lost Enchanted Secrets group. One woman, she made the belly of the frog look like gems, just because of the shape of the little middle pieces. So that was really cool. So a lot of people, they got inspiration from her and did the same thing, and it looked really neat. So I'll teach you how to make a gem and how to make it look like real and like kind of like cracked and have a shine to it, like it's like a real like glass gem. And then bubbles and how to make things look transparent and like a water droplet as well. So that'll be a really cool lesson to do. So, and my husband is giving me a shout out on YouTube. Thanks, babe. I love you too. Alright, guys. I will see you next Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.